Boom.
Sunday, week one, 2018 NFL season. We made it. We're going to play the early slate $1 million jackpot contest to get our best recommendations for this week's Boom Fantasy picks. And I got one of the best. I got Nick from Daily Fantasy Insiders. You crushed the Thursday slate. If you took our exact picks from Thursday, you at least would have min cashed the $2 progressive jackpot. So we're up in the stakes. We're going to play the $1 million jackpot for Sunday early slate. Are you excited?
Oh man, dude, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. I'm confident in our choices for this.
I'm always confident in our choices because I'm confident in my choice that I get the best analyst, and then everything takes care of itself. How's that sound?
I'll take the kind words. I don't know if I believe it, but I'll take the kind words.
The first question for the $1 million jackpot, week one early slate available on Boom Fantasy, is going to be more passing yards, Tom Brady or Ben Roethlisberger. What do you like here?
My initial reaction was to go Roethlisberger,
Okay.
but he's better when Le'Veon Bell does not play, but he's also worse by about the same amount when he's on the road.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to get pretty normal Ben Roethlisberger, and we're going to get pretty normal touchdown Tom, and Tom's a better quarterback than Roethlisberger. So I'm going to go Tom just by a hair.
Myles Garrett is healthy and ready, and I think that he's going to be a wrecking ball this season. So I'm definitely more confident in the Patriots scheme because it doesn't matter who they're playing. The coaches are going to put themselves in the right place to produce, right?
Yep, and that game has a higher total.
Definitely. We talked about hacking fantasy football. That's one of them cheat codes. Go look up your Vegas totals. More point projections, more fantasy points. It's math. Second question, most rushing yards. This one we caught a little break because Le'Veon Bell's our A-bet, and he's up against Leonard Fournette, Saquon Barkley, and Dalvin Cook. So with only three backs to choose from, do you go with the head-to-head matchup, or do you go with Dalvin Cook against the Niners?
So we're looking in this head-to-head matchup over at Daily Fantasy Insider right here. Rep the brand.
Rep that brand.
We have
Spice.
must-have plays every week. These are guys that we think are safe but also carry upside. And Leonard Fournette is a must-have for us this week.
Yeah.
So we think he's going to do very well in this matchup. Jags are favorites. They've got a great defense. They love to play with the lead and just control the ball. We think Fournette's going to have a big one in this game.
Giants defense, not exactly top-notch. No Olivier Vernon to set the edge on the outside. It's a positive game script game for the Jaguars too, right?
Yep, it should be. It definitely should be.
Yeah, and I like Saquon, and I like Dalvin Cook, but I think this is just a matchup plus workload play here.
And the Giants have a lot more weapons than the Jags.
So true.
So you've got Shepard and Beckham and Ingram and Barkley, and it could get spread around a lot, whereas the Jags, they want to run the ball through Fournette.
Yeah, odds are low that this is like a volume game for Saquon Barkley. I agree. Let's go to question 3 now. Most receiving yards, we have Michael Thomas, Marquise Goodwin, Adam Thielen, and Michael Crabtree, the new look Raven, in there with the D-bet. So what do you got here, Nick, for most receiving yards?
This one was pretty tough for me. I had to think about this one for a while. I did rule out Crabtree. He's aging.
Mm-hmm.
He's a red zone threat kind of guy at this point. You're just hoping he gets a touchdown, but I don't think he's going to get much volume. I'm actually going to go with Michael Thomas on this. The Bucs have 3 cornerbacks who are either doubtful or have a lower leg injury, and those really slow you down. 2 of them are groin injuries and one's a hamstring, and those are just not easy
Hard
to get
pass
over.
on those. Wow.
Yeah. And Brent Grimes is doubtful. He's their best corner for
By
sure.
far.
So I think Breeze will take advantage of the mismatch there with Thomas.
Yeah, I see Michael Thomas, and I think about the way Julio demolishes the Bucs every year, and Michael Thomas is the same big, physical, force-fed number 1 receiver, and I like the concentration of targets to go his way, despite it being negative game script and a really good setup for Kamara. I think this is a good spot for Michael Thomas. When you get to Thielen and Goodwin, you have wide distribution of targets. Cousins likes to spread the ball around. Jimmy G spreads the ball around. And Michael Crabtree, we just don't know and we just don't trust, and that's okay.
Yep.
Question 4 is going to be most catches. We got some big names in this one. DeAndre Hopkins, Jarvis Landry, Alvin Kamara getting in there, and Stephon Diggs. So what do you like here for most catches? Question 4, Millie Jackpot.
Wanted to go contrarian here and not pick Hopkins, but I don't think you can.
Yeah.
He's just so safe. Landry is with the Browns now. They actually surprisingly have a lot of weapons and should spread the ball around. Kamara, we already talked about Thomas and how we think the Saints are going to target him a lot. So Hopkins is a safe play here. I think he he should probably get 7 or 8 catches.
Yeah, if this were Jarvis Landry in Miami, I might be tempted, right, to go with Landry, but I don't think it's going to be the same kind of run for him. We just went with a big Thomas game, so it's negative correlation for us to pick Kamara. I do think Hopkins is undisputed number one option. He's going to have a great game every week if Deshaun Watson's healthy. Question 5, we're more than halfway home. Most total touchdowns. I like this one because it's impossible to predict. Rob Gronkowski, AJ Green, Juju, and T.Y. Hilton. No last names there. What's going on, boss?
Yeah, on this kind of question, you're just playing the odds. And I think of this group, Gronk probably has the highest odds to score a touchdown. He typically does very well early in the season, week 1, week 2, week 3.
Yeah.
And I like their high team total.
I'm going to fade Gronk here because I think that every single person is just going to smash Gronk on that question. I think that this is going to be an AJ Green kind of week where we're reminded about AJ Green. I don't necessarily think he's going to have the most touchdowns. I think one might be enough to at least tie and get you through to the next question, but I'm not saying like any of those players are going to score 3. And I could see a world where AJ Green scores 2 in that offense.
This question is like the AJ Greenest question you could possibly have, because I feel like every year he just goes under the radar.
Oh yeah.
And every year he overachieves.
Oh yeah.
So I would not be surprised by that at all, Rick.
Question 6, most passing touchdowns. Think about this one a little. Kirk Cousins, Drew Brees, Eli Manning, or that man Jimmy GQ. Look at that face. I cannot resist that smile.
So
Talk to me about this passing touchdowns question.
I'm going with Brees in this one.
Okay.
He did have his lowest touchdown total of his career last year.
Pause regresh. We love that.
Regression, and also Mark Ingram is out right now. And they, despite Sean Payton basically saying that he doesn't really trust Mark Ingram, he actually did trust him because he gave him the ball a lot in the red zone last year. I'm going to go with Brees here. I think he gets 2 or 3 touchdowns. They've got a team total of 29. Somebody's got to score those points.
I like it. I want to pick something different, but I can't fully rationalize it. Like, okay, so the analytical side of me, really not the analytical side because I'm bad with numbers, but the game theory side of me wants to go D-bet Jimmy G here because the Vikings run defense is so good at home, and Shanahan's had had the entire offseason to prepare for this defense. So I feel like he's going to have something ready, and he could get a lot of short passing TDs because even if you get it inside the red zone, it's going to be even harder to run on this Vikings D, especially in Minnesota. Cousins will be winning. I think Jimmy G will be the only one chasing the game in this besides Eli, and I'm not ready to pick Eli yet. But do you see what I'm working with? I don't want to
I totally get it, yep.
This is why I lose, though, because I talk myself into these fantasies. This is why you're the pro, and I'm on the right side. All right, let's get into some lightning questions. Let's get weird, because Antonio Brown has a very good history against the Cleveland Browns. Now, we got close on Thursday with Julio's lightning question. We said he would have a big game. We didn't know he'd have that big of a game. We couldn't go that far for $170. But Antonio Brown's average is set at 110. What do you see him doing in a sloppy game against Cleveland?
Well, when Le'Veon Bell is out, it's Antonio Brown's show. He averages about 130 yards. The last 3 years, Bell has missed 13 games, and he averages 130 yards in 13 games. So it's not like a couple games we're talking here. And I think people are going to go low on this because of the weather. It's supposed to be a little bit rainy for this game, but I think rain has less effect on passing game than people want to believe. It's really the wind that you have to be concerned about for the passing game. The rain does help the quarterback script the ball a little bit better. Defenders slip a little bit more. Offense knows where they're going. The defense is reacting. So I'm going to go like 135-ish, 140 for Antonio Brown here.
I think that's a fair number. 130 is a safe basement. I want to go 160 because I know we undershot it, but 160 is a ton of yards. So I'm going to go 148. How about that?
I like it.
All right, I'm not even allowed to play. Our last question is Odell Beckham against Jalen Ramsey. My favorite matchup of the week in terms of individual matchups. I think that this is where the eyeballs are going to be Sunday at 1:15. Where do you see Odell finishing?
I would not be surprised if there's like some real chit chat between these two guys.
Would not be surprised. I expect nothing less than
just
chit chat.
Like extreme smack talk.
The basement is chit chat. We start at chit chat.
You're not any good. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you're not any good either.
That's
Just some
really good chit chat, Nick.
real
That's good.
hard-nosed chit chat. I'm having trouble with this one, but I do think, like we talked about earlier, there's lots of weapons for the Giants in this one. It's going to be a slow game. The Jags are definitely going to be trying to control the clock. So I'm still going to go low end for Odell,
Okay.
but it would not at all surprise me if he had a very long touchdown and ended up just blowing this out of the water.
I
I'm going
agree
to
that
go,
the long play it could devastate people here.
yeah, yeah, the tilt of
Oh my
fantasy
God, the tilt.
football.
Oh my God, the
The,
tilt.
the 1 minute left in the fourth quarter,
Absolutely.
60-yard touchdown that kills you. But I'm going to go 75 for
Okay,
Odell
so you're
here.
going under the average.
I am going under.
Okay. I think that the problem here is that Jalen Ramsey is so physical. When you see a guy like Antonio Brown boss up Jalen Ramsey, it's through physicality. And Odell Beckham's not the same kind of specimen. He's a finesse
Mm-hmm.
guy. And especially on the short routes that Odell likes to break on, the sticks, the slants, I think he's going to get into a little bit of trouble. Odell coming off a full year injury, Jalen Ramsey coming off a full off season of ish talking every single player in the NFL.
All of them, every last
Every
one of them.
single he started at A. He attacked Adams and went to Bengals offensive coordinator Ken Zampese. I'm gonna go with 68. Almost nice, but I just
Almost
can't
nice.
trust. I think that he will break on a couple of plays, but it just won't be enough, and they're gonna struggle. And you're better off working the middle of the field against Jacksonville than finding Odell on the edges. Remember, you're in Boom. You're not just playing the early slate. We got single game slates all throughout the day, plus a late slate, plus Sunday night slate, and we got 2 slates on Monday. We're going to be giving you that late night Rams Raiders in our next video, so peep that. Nick, give 10 seconds about DFI. Don't wax poetic because the people are going to get force fed this season, but just let them know we're the best fantasy info at before we kick you out.
We have the best picks, DailyFantasyInsider.com. I will be in our war room all day today and then Sunday morning before the games. So come over, check out our header, ask me some questions. I'll hook you up with the good info.
You don't think they take it seriously? They call it the war room, okay? They take it very seriously. They're
business.
about their money. They're about your money, worth every penny. Come spend it at Boom. Come get paid. Giant check season is in effect. We'll see you in our next video. Say bye, Nick.
Peace out, guys.